Hello everybody, and welcome to today's chatting stream. See, it's loud. Background music seems loud. Could just be me though. Could just be me. Welcome to today's stream. I'm Sanish, and I'm here to chat about things. It's been a couple weeks since I last had a chatting stream. For those keeping track at home, it was a month and a half? No. Let me look at the schedule here. Has it been a month and a half? Music is a bit loud? Okay, not just me. Thank you. Okay, I'm not a crazy person. I'm sitting here like, this seems a bit loud, but this desktop audio seems about normal. It was a bit loud. Thank you for the sound check. That's the one thing is like, as a streamer, if you're ever watching a streamer and the audio levels are off, please always tell them. Please always tell them immediately. They'll never not want to hear it. God, maybe it has been like a month and a half since I had a chatting stream. Has it really been a month and a half? Shit. What happened to May? It's been a month. May kind of like evaporated. I know. I built the habit in my head of doing them on Fridays. And then, oh, I know what happened. I had some Friday plans that popped up in a row. One, impact. Two, I got sick for 2 weeks. That would do it. Getting sick for 2 weeks would sink you. First off, I write what I'm current beverage of the evening is. I'm on a black background today. What the? I'm on a black background because I have some dark photos, and I don't want to have like a white photo contrast. So we're going to say today is what do I have here? What do I have? I have a Lagunitas IPA. Lagunitas. It's funny. There's like the area I grew up in has a bunch of, that's a bit quiet, isn't it? Has a bunch of wineries. It's a wine country, but also has a bunch of breweries. And growing up, my family wasn't much of a beer family at all. Definitely not craft beer. So I wasn't aware of them. And it wasn't until I like left the area that I realized like, oh, there's some like really popular, famous breweries in this area. And now as an adult, I see them every now and then. I'm just like, Petaluma, California. Thanks for the follow, and thanks for confirming that my alerts are working. Always wonders. And so it's like, I think it's Old Rasputin, Russian River Brewing, Old Rasputin, Lagunitas, what I have now. It's all like, it's always weird to see a product in the shelves and see like your hometown from like several states away. You're like, look at that. That's me. I'm not sure I like it though. It's pretty fine. It's fine. It's an IPA. I'm not sure what I was hoping for. The can just says in big. Okay, let me draw this can. This can is like tall boy can, right? And it just says. This is the side of the can says, and I'm drinking it. I'm like, oh, turns out it's a little hoppy. I should not be surprised, and yet here I am, surprised. That artwork. I have a drawing tablet, mostly because I talk with my hands sometimes, maybe a lot, maybe not a lot. Even if I'm like not on camera and I'm like in a voice call, like at work or something, I like gesture with my hands and point at things. And so having the little iPad helps me. So I use my little fingies. It's the streamer equivalent of a fidget spinner. So I have my little list here. It's been a couple weeks. What have I been up to on this vlog update? Photo sharing. I've shared some of these photos with friends already. I've shared some of these photos on Blue Sky. I'm going to share them again here. You know why? Because I want to. I can do what I want. I'm an adult. So let's start. Let's take a little travel. A wee bit of travel. First off, summer has arrived in the Seattle area, in the greater Seattle area. And with summer comes a few things. One, it's no longer sad and gray out. Big plus not being sad and gray. Not necessarily a fan. with it comes like warmer temperatures and like too much sunshine. Like, I'm a very pale person. I don't say too much sunshine. Like, I moved to Seattle to avoid the sun, not embrace the sun. But some trailheads, some mountain roads, sorry, inhaled some IPA, become passable because the snow melts. Well, we don't have no snow this year, but in theory, the snow melts and the trails open up. And so one hike I wanted to do since October, I wanted to do it in October, but the trail closed. Like, right as I'm like, oh, there's this trail. I love this trail. I can't wait to go on it. And then it's like closed for the season. I'm like, sad Foxboy noises. It's the Snoqualmie Tunnel Trail. So if you have, let's draw Washington State here. Here's Washington State. It kind of goes like this. Kind of some fun, there's some funny business with Canada and some islands up here we're going to ignore. Come down to the Puget Sound. Here's Seattle. Seattle's right about there. We got Tacoma down here. We've got Forks, Washington. Little lake, you know. Little happy vampire. We got like Olympia, somewhere around here. We got Portland. And then we got like Yakima over here. Not Yakima, Spokane. Here's my map of Washington. From Seattle to Spokane is I-90. And it continues on to Boston. Along I-90, we cross the Cascade Mountain Range. It kind of like peters out and then becomes like the Sierra Nevadas down that way. And in there is Snoqualmie Pass. Snoqualmie Pass is one of the first and major passes across the mountain range, but it's also home to a very big ski resort. Shoot, 1 second. I forgot how do I select things? There we go. I want this to be copy and paste. It also has a large ski resort. So you have like, if you're looking at it, it's like mountain freeway comes around like this. Here's your freeway. Here's your mountain, and then like you have all your like your ski lifts and things, right? Up this mountain. Ski lifts up the mountain. So Snoqualmie Pass. Now on one side of the pass, on the right side, there used to be, because this is a major pass, a major thoroughfare where all the trains and cars went through. And so there's a train tunnel right here. There's a train tunnel. There's a train tunnel that goes underneath Snoqualmie Pass. It goes underneath the ski resort mountain. And it is by far one of my favorite hiking trails in the Pacific Northwest. You know why? You park at the trailhead, you walk a quarter mile, and you go into a 2-mile long unlit train tunnel that is absolutely flat. You get dripped on, and then you pop out the other side, go, oh, sunlight, and then do 2 miles back to the train tunnel. I love it. It is a sensory deprivation, existential crisis path that some people can't handle, and it is like 10 out of 10. I love it so much. So I did that a couple weeks ago. I brought in one of my general I have a theme, like, I want to do this cool thing. And when I say cool thing, I usually like doing kind of like apparently unpleasant hikes. Like, let's go into a corn maze at night with no lights in the mud. Let's go to the middle of a rainforest in the dead of winter. Let's do a 2-mile hike in the dark, underground. Let's go to the mines of Moria together, my friends. And so I've got 6 people joined me on this trail. Much more than I expected. Quite a delight. It's one of my favorite trailheads. If you're in the Seattle region, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, if you're in Ellensburg, if you're in Clay Elum, if you're in Yakima, you're probably close enough. Olympia might be a bit far. Bellingham a little far. Snoqualmie Tunnel Trail at the Hayek Trailhead on the Palouse Cascade larger trail. Check it out. It's great. But the experience is amazing. So we showed up on like 10 a.m. Let's say 10 a.m. on a Saturday. Let's say it's a Saturday. A couple weeks ago, me and two friends in the carpool, get to the trailhead, we all meet up. No, surprisingly, it's an hour drive from Seattle. Everyone arrives in like 10 minutes of each other, which is like pretty impressive. Right, once you say so. And you walk along this path. It's a gravel path, the bike's going by, and you're about a quarter mile out from this tunnel. And quarter mile out, you can't see it yet because it's around a bend in the path, and you start feeling this constant cold wind coming out of this tunnel, and it's like this damp cave air that's just hitting you in the face from just like quarter mile away, and you're just like, you have this moment of doubt. I had this moment of doubt as an organizer and someone who went on this trail of just like, oh shit, did I make a mistake? Is this actually highly unpleasant and not fun? And then you round a corner, and this is what you see. This is the entrance of this 2-mile tunnel. It is a foreboding 25-foot tall, 20-foot wide tunnel. And you just, you just go in, 2 miles of pitch blackness, and turn around and come back. And it is, I can't stress enough how cool it is. It is this moment of, and I think about this a lot when I'm on trails and hiking, of when you're reading like a fantasy book or you're reading any book and they're talking about like walking underground or walking through caves and darkness, and like you have in your head, like for me at least, a lot of times I'm visualizing like I'm walking through the dark city streets, and you're just like, city streets aren't dark. You walk through this tunnel, there is no light. There's a pinprick of light in the far distance, but you can't see the people next to you. You can't see your hand in front of your face. You can't see the ground. You hope you know where the walls are. You bump into your friends as you're walking, and you get a deep appreciation for what it's like to like walk through darkness. And some people were having like sensory deprivation, where you like not hallucinating, but you're like seeing some colors, you're seeing things that aren't there just because your mind is trying to like struggle for anything. And so you walk through, and this is looking back out the tunnel, but it's just, this is coming back around that corner. It is dark. I don't have any photos inside. The photos inside the tunnel look like this. This is what the photos inside look like, pitch black. And it's a 5-mile hike. So you have to like, but it is straight and it is flat. It is cold. It is cold in this tunnel. It is like 54 degrees. No matter what temperature it is outside, it's going to be like 54 degrees inside this tunnel. So you're overheated in this parking lot because summer's hit, right? The sun's beating down on you. You just came out of a car ride, and you're like, everyone says wear layers. You're like, fine. So you're wearing like jackets and stuff, but you're just like starting to sweat and you're getting overheated. And you hit this tunnel, and like 5 minutes in, you can't see anything. You're unsure of where you're stepping. You're cold. You realize you should have brought gloves or a scarf or something more. You're bumping into your friends. It's so good. It is one of my favorite hikes. And then you go, so you're 2 miles about this. And the first 10 to 15 minutes feels like an eternity. It feels like an eternity because you're just like, how do I walk in the dark? How do I walk without seeing the ground? And you're kind of talking to your friends, that kind of helps. But I had one friend who was like, is this what it feels like? Verbatim was like, is this what it feels like to die? I'm just walking in the dark towards a point in the light, and I can hear the sounds of my friends around me. I'm just like, this is grim. And I loved it. I loved it so much. Oh, let's eat it up. It's so good. And so you walk through, and then you pop out the other side, and you have a little outhouse. You have a lovely view of the mountains, the Cascade Mountains around you. And there's a trail that continues on this way. There's a fall down to a ravine to the right. And you're just suddenly blasted by light. Warmth re-energizes you again. You sit in the sun and you're just like, my bones are cold. You got dripped on. People might be cranky. No one in my group was cranky, thankfully, but I could imagine it. And then you turn around, and here's the tunnel coming back the other direction, and you head right back in. It's right back in the tunnel. This is not the exit light. That is the flashlight of someone in the tunnel. Now you could say, Sanish, can't you bring a flashlight? To which my only response is, do you have no whimsy in your heart? Do you have no soul? You you can bring a flashlight, but don't use that flashlight. We had a flashlight and we used it only when we heard ourselves approaching something very, very wet. Like you're walking and it's dark and it's quiet and you're like, bah, 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 crunch, crunch, crunch on the gravel. Everything's going fine. And then you start hearing dripping and the sound of puddles. And you're just like, okay, I don't want a stream of cave water cascading onto my little foxy head. I don't want to step my sneakers into 3 inches of cold, wet murk. So use a flashlight at that point. So going through it, it's fine. Occasionally you have people on bicycles come through because this is a 100-mile bike path or something. People with bikes could come through and they'd have their bike lights and you can kind of like, you see them coming like, oh, cyclist is coming, and you move aside and you realize like they're way farther than you think. And that tunnel is long and it's dark in the mines of Moria. And they come and they pass and you reacquaint with darkness. So seeing adults walk through, generally fine. Cyclists go through, fine. People with my friends brought their dog. They have a little puppy. And I was like, you're bringing a puppy into this tunnel? Are you mad, people? Apparently their puppy was fine. Their puppy was like super happy about the whole thing. And I was like, oh, okay. Super dirty. This dog got filthy. This dog got so dirty from this tunnel because he's like a fancy, like a fancy purebred, long-haired, tiny dog. Oh fuck, what's the name? What that dog is? Dogs that were bred to be foot warmers. What was it called? Not turnspit dog. It's like a very British-looking breed, like long hair. He's orange. They were bred to be foot warmers, which is a funny doggy fact. That is what my type of dog he was. But it's a dog who has like just has a longer coat, and so like his paws had the longer fur around the paws that were walking through this muddy gravel the whole way. Oh, that dog was filthy, and we're just like, enjoy taking that dog back in your new car. So it was great. We walked through. We came to the other side, and then on the way out, you're relieved. The way back through is way easier because you're like, oh, I'm a pro at walking through the dark now. You walk out the other side. And you're relieved. You're like, we're done. We made it. We made it to the tunnel. Your eyes are adjusting back to the light. We went to a brewery in North Bend afterwards. But on the way to the parking lot, what I saw that I found that's absolutely flabbergasting was families coming to this tunnel with like kids in strollers. And I'm like, you're taking a stroller through this in the pitch blackness with a little kid? I guess. Live your life. Thinking whenever I see anybody with kids doing anything, I'm just like, woof, couldn't be me. So that was a lot of fun. This was earlier in the spring. I want to do this in the winter. The fun fact, once you get about 5-10 feet underground, it's the same temperature everywhere. So it's a lot of fun. Highly recommend it if you want a creepy, weird tunnel to go through. A little bit of an existential threat. So that was one outdoor adventure. I only had 2 outdoor adventures so far for May. I might be done for the year. That was May. The other thing I did is my last year, or it's on my list. Last year, my friends and I started a tradition. I love traditions. I love annual traditions with my friends. I don't necessarily like societal traditions as much, like all the cultural baggage and expectation on like 4th of July, or the cultural baggage of like Christmas or like Thanksgiving or like Easter, like those sorts of like traditions that have all this cultural expectations and like familial baggage. No, thank you. Hard pass. What I do love are traditions you make with your friends. And so last summer, last August, my friends and I, now I will say this, I have 2 major friend groups. One is generally a bit on the queerer side on Discord, and the other one is a bunch of married cis guys. And it's I had one, when I mix the 2 groups sometimes, they're like, wow, your other friends are very like hetero. And I'm like, yeah, they are. So we went they took, we being us, me, 3 of them and their wives went to adult summer camp in Leavenworth, Washington. Adult summer camp not being a actual structured thing. It was just we rented Airbnb on the river. We hung out. We played board games. We consumed various substances. We floated down rivers. We bought taffy and bratwurst and cheeses. We didn't eat great. We ate a lot of chips, played a lot of board games. People played musical instruments. We had big plans to other things. We kind of just like hung out. We just hung out for about 4 or 5 days. And during that process, one of my friends, we were like checking, like, oh, I really like it here. We like the vibe. We like the town. And they were looking at real estate listings. Sometimes you browse real estate listings as a hobby with no intent of actually doing anything with those results. They found this cabin. Up on a mountain near Leavenworth. And they're like, oh, this looks pretty cool. It looks pretty neat. It's like a 1-bedroom, 700 square foot, honestly, size of my condo. So it's not really like this tiny cabin that's the size of my living space. And they're like, oh, that's kind of neat and everything. We kind of thought nothing of it. And like a couple months later, they end up buying it. They end up buying this little cabin. The end of last year, they bought this little cabin. And they just now got it into shape where they could have people stay over. And so last weekend, I was their first guest to come over to their cabin, and not with them. The cabin's not big enough to go with people. It's a thing you go by yourself. And so I'm like, great, took the long Memorial Day weekend. I'm like, I'll go to Leavenworth. Not really much plans to do anything in Leavenworth. I just mostly kind of wanted to like hang out in this cabin and kind of like have a weekend away from, honestly, I did the same things I did at home, but just on a mountain. I got there and I'm like, I had my laptop, I had my violin, which I'll talk about. I had my little e-reader. I had like Discord open on my laptop, and I'm just like, I'm playing video games. I'm just like, that's exactly what I do at home. Which gets to the whole question of why do I travel, which is I'll get into in a bit if I remember. So this cabin, to get there, this is the tricky bit. To get there, drive to Leavenworth, 2-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive, 3-hour drive. And you get to Leavenworth. Great. Got to Leavenworth. I went to this little grocery store at the bottom of the mountain, picked up some food for myself, some beers to drink, some dinner for that night, and I drove up the rest of the way. Now, I was told, Sanish, my friend, told me, the last 15 minutes of this is an unpaved, private, 1-lane dirt road. And I'm like, I see. Now, I drive a Honda Civic. It's not really known as an off-roading vehicle. And so I get there, and the way my friend pitched this to me, I was actually a little bit worried about this dirt road, because I grew up in 2 areas mostly. One of them was Sonoma County in California, the wine country. The other we spent a lot of our summers was in Nevada County, which is in California, which has a lot of mountainous dirt roads. And so I've experienced being a passenger on these mountainous dirt roads. So I kind of know like the etiquette of driving on them, what it's like, what to do, and how bad it could be, right? Like I've experienced how narrow a mountain road can be, where it's like, it fits your car. You have a cliff to your left that drops to an unfathomable abyss, and you have a mountain on your right that is just like leaning over you with rocks about to fall into your car. So that's what I was expecting. And so I get there, and this is what the road looks like. And I'm just like, I hit this, and he said there's some part of you have to like get some speed up to make it up like a steep incline. And like, I have no idea what he's talking about. This road was like, it was bumpy because it's a dirt ass road. It was bumpy, but like Honda Civic was perfectly fine. Like there's some potholes in the road, right? But otherwise you're just like, this is a rather pleasant little drive. Now this is like one car width, but like there's turnouts, right? There's a turnout right here. And so you see someone coming down the road, you just pull aside and you do that little half wave over the steering wheel, and they drive by in their big truck or their fancy Lexus or their Audi or whatever. And then you keep going your way. And two reasons I think he warned me about this was, one, when they were checking it out and scoping this out and buying this place, it was in the fall. So I bet when this road has any amount of moisture on it, it goes from an easy kind of dusty dirt trail to a slippery mud path. And then in the winter, it gets snowed in and they have to have a little ATV, snowmobile sort of situation to get down the mountain. And then up this road are a bunch of, it's their little cabin, and then a bunch of rich people. Like a bunch of people with like multi-million-dollar homes and compounds. One of his neighbor has a helicopter. So I'm like, this road's not that bad. If rich people are driving this road, it's fine. It's fine. But I did do the smart thing of roll down your windows so you can hear other cars approaching around blind quarters so you don't crash your car. And because like this part was easy, like this part of the road, which is why I took a picture here. There were other parts that were a bit on the, like a little bit on the steeper side where you necessarily didn't really want to like pause and get hit by another car. So driving up this road, great, got to Leavenworth. And then from his back porch, this is why I spent the weekend here. On his back porch, looking down into town, this was the view. The view from my condo looks out at another apartment building and a QFC. This is much nicer. This is a much nicer view. And this is just standing on the deck looking down. So you have like, here's the main road here. Like, I think this is like 97 right here. And then like, this is the main town. Like I could see the start of the main drag of Leavenworth. And in theory, there's like a river down here. And then there's another road that goes up this way. I think that's like Tillicum Highway? Chumsticks Highway. Oh, Chumstick Highway. Everyone loves Chumstick Highway. I love some of the names in the area. So it was nice. It wasn't as hot as I expected. Like I went into this trip expecting like it to be hot. And I know other parts of the country might have different definitions. I was expecting like 80 degrees. And for me, that is too warm. 80 degrees, too warm. It was like 72. It was pleasant. I was wearing a sweater the whole time in pajama pants. Just sitting on this deck, reading my book. Binge reading. I started a romantasy book and I was binge reading the second one in the series. First and second one in the series. I'm in the third one now. And sat on the porch. I was working on projects on my laptop, chatting with friends on Discord, drinking beers, taking naps. It was lovely. It was a great weekend away. It did mean I couldn't stream last Friday for chatting or on any of the days of the week, but that is so sorry. In the afternoon progressed and it would look nice. Oh, I brought all my camera gear. That's the other thing I brought with me. And so it's kind of funny because like going on this 3-day trip, I packed and brought more things than when I go on multi-week trips to other countries. I think there's a like, if I know I'll be in my own car the whole time and like I'll be parked at my destination, I'm like become like a goldfish. And I start packing everything. I'm like, do I need a camera tripod? I'm like, I might need a camera tripod. Throw in that camera tripod. Like, do I need to bring my fancy Yaimiko 8-bit slide digit controller in case I want to play games? I'll throw it in there. Do I need to bring all extra pair of shoes? Why not? So I've become a bit of a goldfish in that regard. Which is normally fine, except for the fact that my elevator in my building's currently down, so I had to like haul all that stuff up and down 5 flights of stairs. It's fine. It's good for the health, good for the body. So here's the afternoon. They have like a little meadow. I actually didn't really explore the area very much on top of the mountain. Like he was saying, oh, if you go walk down this road over here, go check out this thing. And I'm just like, I'll be in pajama pants, lounging the entire time. Thank you very much. No other plans, but a good long lounge. I have one friend who's actually in Leavenworth at the same time with her family, and she had like all these things that they were doing. And I'm just like, I went into town and I bought a bagel and then I came back. Very exciting. Very exciting, riveting traveler. And the sun started to set, which is quite lovely. So we had a great sunset across the whole little valley. I actually want to do some night photography because one of the things we do during adult summer camp, and one of the reasons we go is the Pleiades meteor shower happens, and there's much much less light here than in Seattle. The problem is the sun sets at like 10 p.m. So you're kind of like, I get sleepy, and I just want to go to bed. So some nice sunsets. Here's looking back at our town, the sunset, there's little pine trees, and very picturesque. I did file a couple of complaints with my friend about the lodgings. Namely, there was no hammock on the back porch, and it could have really used a hammock. And inside, there wasn't any art on the wall. They just bought this place, right? They're still furnishing it. And my friend says he wants to get a job first before he buys more stuff, like whatever. It really could use like one of those like 5-foot wide paintings of like a bucolic landscape with like a deer on it, or like a moose, like a little creek coming by, and like some reindeer cannons on legs, like one of those like nice big bucolic mountainy scenes that you find like a hunting lodge. That's what it really needs. A good fake replica animal head of a Wendigo, or like a jackalope or something. It's like something like one of those, not one of those trendy woodcut ones, but I want like a slightly off-putting fake taxidermied one. Like that's the quality I want to go for here. I'm obviously not in charge of interior decorating. Oh, like a good crike. Go back. Honestly, one thing I was looking for when I went into town is I was looking for a good like a creepy yard, like creepy lawn gnome. I want like a good creepy lawn gnome, or some kind of like slightly weird lawn ornament to just like stick over here. Something that he wouldn't notice for a couple months, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, what is that over there? Couldn't find anything. I didn't look very hard. I looked very hard. Next time. Then last one is taken with my old iPhone, looking more towards town. iPhone definitely doesn't catch colors as much. It was like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, so couldn't really. I wanted to like do long exposure photos of the stars, but there's a bit too much overcast clouds, and it's just a bit too light. Like too late at night again. Got sleepy. So that was my Leavenworth trip. It was very exciting. I almost out of photos. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I did enjoy the drive. I'm not a fan of driving. I've realized that it's like driving really takes a lot out of me. And this trip made me ask myself some important questions, such as, why do I actually like traveling? Sometimes I get this like slightly self-doubt question of, do I actually like going places? And I'm still on the fence. I think going by myself places, I've become a little less enamored with. Mostly because what I want to do is just like all my hobbies and like be in my home. I just want to be a shut-in. That's all I want to be. But I'm like, I just want to like have my little comfy laptop, my little cozy blanket, and my pajamas. And I want to stream, and I want to play games with friends online. I want to try in Discord, and I want to do game dev on the side. I want to practice musical instruments. And I'm like, I don't want to go places, and I can't do those things. And that's a deep problem. It's like I leave my home, I can't do the things I like doing. It's like, what do I like doing when I travel? And I'm still on the fence. Now, traveling with friends is different. Traveling with friends, I do enjoy thoroughly. I thoroughly enjoy going places and hanging out and spending time with friends. But traveling on my own, I'm kind of like, It's like going to restaurants on my own. I enjoy going to restaurants with friends, but I don't actually like go by myself. And it's something I've noticed. Like, people, have you checked out all these things? I'm like, I'm a single fox boy. I'm not going to restaurants on my own. I'm not checking out these things on my own. So sorry. Now, the traveling part, like getting to the airport, taking flights, driving, I'm fine doing that on my own. Just at the destination by myself, I'm just like, I just want to read my book or play Slay the Spire. That was fun. So we talked about Tunnel. Ooh. Talked about Leavenworth. Oh God, I butchered that handwriting. I will be doing adult summer camp again. We're inviting 2 more people. Another guy and his wife will be joining us. There'll be 7 of us in Leavenworth. Oh, not Leavenworth proper, like outside of Leavenworth somewhere, because we're trying to find Airbnb for 7 people. Is a bit hit or miss when you have requirements like I want my own bathroom, I'm an adult. So that's going to be, so there will be a secondary future Leavenworth in like September. Expect that in September. More photos, more fun, more adventures. What this has brought up is I did have to make plans, begrudgingly, slightly begrudgingly. I have to travel down to California in July. About 4 months ago, my uncle got married. Great, lovely, wonderful. Got married in Hawaii, because that's where he lived. He lives in Hawaii, so he got married in Hawaii. Makes sense. I think he only invited like his immediate siblings out, and like that was it. So it was like 6-7 people at the wedding. Great. And my parents were like, Sanish, like during Christmas or a little bit before, like, Sanish, your uncle is going to have a wedding reception on probably this weekend of like July 25th, I think. July 25th, going to have a wedding reception. We would love it if you could come. It is unclear the details of where it's going to be. So there was like a 50-50 chance that I was going to be in Hawaii as a wedding reception in Maui. But instead, it's going to be hosted at my aunt's place in California, in Petaluma, where Lagunitas is. Very exciting. But I'm like, I don't really want to go. I like my uncle. This is my one gay uncle, so I like my uncle. Probably ironically that, like, in terms of all my extended family, like aunts and uncles and things, probably the one I like the most, because he sees himself as like the black sheep of the family, and I kind of see myself at this point weirdly as like probably a little bit of the black sheep of the family, just because I don't like fit in as much with everybody. But it's like, it's gonna be a barbecue at my aunt's house. It's also like, I'd be like more on the fence about it, but like my grandfather's really gonna try to make it, and it's like probably gonna be the last time I see him. And so I'm like, I should go. So I bought tickets, and I'm just like, mostly it's like, I'll be flying in, staying with my parents for a couple days for the weekend, and like flying back on like Monday sort of thing. And it's like, it's okay. I'll just go. It'll be fine. It'll just be a long day with extended family. It's gonna be like 25 people. A long day with a bunch of people I actually don't have much in common with. But what I'm counting on are I'm counting on two things. One, two of my cousins are now dating people I've not met. So I'll be talking to new people who aren't family members. That's a big win. It's a big step forward. The second one is, since the last family event I went to, those two same cousins moved to Seattle. So both of them live in Seattle. I've never actually seen them living here. They've been here for like 4 or 5 years, and I've never actually met up in any way, shape, or form. And I'm just like, my dad's like, you should meet up with your cousins. And I'm just like, nope. I have friends. I'm good. If I didn't have friends, perhaps. And I do kind of wonder. I was kind of wondering, like, the back of my head, people who are very, very close to their families and see their families a lot, I'm like, is that your substitute for friends? Fine if it is. Fine if it is. But it's always one of those things I kind of think about. So I can talk about Seattle, and I can talk to those new people. So I'll have some conversation topics for this weekend all prepped and planned. What I am worried about, it's going to be California in July. It's going to be warm. So very likely the attire is going to end up being more like short sleeved and shorts. Like that's probably going to be the attire. Pants would probably be a bit too hot. And I realized after I booked the tickets, I have not seen my family since I started doing, at least not, I visited last Christmas, which is fully clothed, but I've not seen my family since I started doing laser hair removal or painting my nails or getting a new haircut that's a little bit more on the androgynous side. And I'm like, oh no, there's probably gonna be someone's gonna be like, probably some comments from some family members about this. I'm just like, do I lean into it? So I also been like shaving my arms. It's like shaving my arms and everything. Do I lean into it and just like say nothing and like paint my nails and go for it? Or do I not mask is the right word. Mask a bit and just go slightly more normie and get to the weekend. And I'm still debating which way I want to go because I don't want to have those sorts of conversations with my family. I just don't. It's awkward. I don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. I don't feel like I see them twice a year. It's fine. But it's one of the realizations I had like after I booked the tickets. I'm just like, because one of the reasons I did all this, one of the reasons I did laser hair removal, one of the reasons I shaved appendages is that like my family has a lot of body hair. And so it's going to be quite noticeable. And I'm just like, or maybe not. We'll see. And not like a they won't be accepting in a sort of way, but just more like, I don't want to talk about it. It's funny. On stream, I'm like, I'll talk about anything on stream. That's fine with me. Family, I'm just like, oh, let's not. So that's going to happen in July. I'm very fine seeing my uncle and congratulating him on his marriage. I forget his husband's name. Lovely guy, works in an art gallery in Hawaii. Perfectly nice people. So this ends the travel section and the tunnel section. So what else has been up? I was sick for 2 weeks. I have a note there. I was sick for 2 weeks. It sucked. Did not care for it. I don't like being sick. I'm a terrible sick person. The minute I get sick, I'm like, I am dying. It's over for me. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, family. This is it. I need to write my last will and testament and get everything squared away. Have a note of where my computer passwords are and what files and things to delete immediately, what accounts to deactivate and never look at, what things to burn without looking. So go through that whole process every time I get a slight head cold. I think I actually got sick after the tunnel. got the cave flu. I was sick for 2 weeks. I think the big worry was last time I got sick was in October, and it caused me to rupture one eardrum from a sinus infection, which caused me to cancel an entire trip to Japan. So I was a little wary recently of my ears going again. Ear exploding. So a wee bit wary of that, but it's fine. I made it through. I realized the other day, I'm like, oh, actually like a day before going to Leavenworth, I'm like, I feel healthy again. I'm not sick. What a delight. And the best part is when I'm sick, I refrain from any sort of like any alcohol or anything because I'm like, I'm sick, right? I don't want to do that. But now I'm healthy again. I'm just like, yeah, back on board. Almost 40. It's too late to save this body. I say going to the gym regularly now. Getting enough fiber maxing. I hate it. What happened to the days I could eat nothing but pasta and call that a life? Papa was very... when I just ate a little bit of pasta every day and I was verging on clinically underweight, what happened to those good old days? Different time. So the other thing that I was doing in Leavenworth, and I started to tweet last talk, is I have started to learn to play the violin. I'll draw a violin here. So violins are like, they have a little cutout. Like this, and there's a little neck that goes up to like a little scroll thing with little pegs. There's 2 pegs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 strings that go to little like little clef things. I started learning to play the violin. 10 years ago? What year is it? 12 years ago, I said to myself, Sanish, Sanish. You don't know how to play a musical instrument. You know nothing about music. You are musically inept, have no ear for music. You couldn't tell a G note from an C note. Ha, ha, ha. Don't know what a chord is, don't know what a flat is. And so 12 years ago, I said, I'm interested in learning 2 instruments, either piano or violin. And at the time, the best option seemed to be piano for self-teaching myself, for roommate noise, 'cause I had roommates. So I went with piano. And so off and on for the last 12 years, I've been learning piano in various stages. I did my daily piano streams a couple months ago at the start of the year to try to get back into it and get it. But like, despite my efforts, I learned to sight read. I learned some music theory stuff, not much, but a little bit. And what I found was I never vibed with it. Like, I enjoyed some parts of it, and there was kind of I enjoyed the process of learning a lot. And so I enjoyed the learning aspect. And practicing and playing pieces uses like 100% of my brain in a way that really nothing else, very few things do. Like, oftentimes it's like I can be doing something, but I'm not like 100% focused. And so playing in musical instruments, it gives me that 100% focus in a way that only a handful of things do. And I'm not going to talk about what all those things are. And so that part was interesting. And like, there was a part where I was taking piano lessons once a week, and it was an excuse to get out of my house and perhaps away from someone who I was with in a relationship that was on its way out. And so there's the benefits on that side of things. But like, after doing this practice earlier this year, this daily piano streams, I just realized like, I wasn't feeling it. I was playing very mechanically. I always played piano very mechanically. Like, I was reading the notes and playing the keys, but I was never like connected to the music or connected to the instrument. And I had the dickens of a time getting my hands to play independently. And I just couldn't get over that wall. That was just like something I just couldn't get past. So I said, okay, what if I did violin? What would that look like? What would learning the violin look like for me? And so I talked about it on stream before. I noodled about this for a couple months, annoyed people with all my noodling and like prevaricating and debating myself and all these things. And eventually I found a local class, a local teacher who teaches introduction to fiddle. Now, if you're like me and you're like, Sanish, you were just talking about a violin. Was this about a fiddle now? I looked up, I'm like, what is the difference between a violin and a fiddle? And some things say they're the same instrument. And I'm like, okay, they're the same instrument. Other things saying they're different. I'm like, that's odd. Why do we have conflicting information? What it is look at the profile of a violin. Here's the flat part. You know, it's kind of like, goes out, it's like this. And then you got your little pegs. Actually, pegs are down here. Or they're up a little bit. Pegs are up here. And then you got like this little thing. There is a piece of wood right here. And the strings go up, hit that wood, and they go all the way to the pegs. And then there's like the fretboard. Well, not fretboard, the little board here has a name probably. But here's the string, There's this piece here called the bridge. Bridge. The difference between a violin and a fiddle, I learned after much research and much debating about this, is the bridge is slightly different. On a violin, classical violin, the bridge is shaped like this. On a fiddle, the bridge is flatter. Sometimes, not always, and that's the difference. That's the difference between a violin and a fiddle. And I learned, when I learned that, I'm just like, God damn it, everyone, this is the same goddamn instrument. Also, the bow's different. The bow is like, you have your frog thing down here, you have your stick, you have your horsehair. Sometimes in a fiddle, the actual string part of your bow is looser than a violin. Sometimes, not always, and that's the difference. So it's just a very minor difference. So I'm just like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I signed up for a beginner fiddle class. One reason I want to learn violin is not so much classical music, but I really like kind of just the Irish, Scottish, folk, fiddle music, jigs, what have you. And that's why I want to learn fiddle. And so the fiddle lessons have been the right direction. There's also half price compared to private tutors. It's in a class setting. Oh, a class setting. Class settings are the best for learning because you can hide in them if you're not doing well. There's not someone looking straight. You're not being perceived 100% of the time. So it's an hour-long class every Wednesday. Introduction to fiddle from nothing. And so I started that class 3 weeks ago. I had my third lesson. 2 days ago. Today's Friday, 2 days ago. And it was like there's like 12 slots in the class. I signed up when it first became available because I'm like, it's going to fill up and I want to get this. So I signed up for the class. And then a couple weeks ago, I called around. Well, I tried driving to a fiddle shop, a violin shop, and they were just closed for like a week. And I'm like, fine. A couple weeks later, I went and I called a couple violin shops in the area. Because apparently there's like, first off, if you want to know an advantage of living in a city compared to other like a rural area or suburbs, there's like half dozen luthiers in the Seattle area. So they do like your cellos, your violins, your harps, your violas. So any sort of like stringed instrument of this shape, outside of like guitars, they tune them up. I think some like they either import them and fix them up. Some of them might make them from scratch. But what a lot of this is I'm talking about because I found it fascinating. Violins are expensive. Like I bought a digital piano for like $200, and it's like that's everything I would ever need is that one piano. You can get a guitar for a couple $100s probably. Since these are individually tuned, the bridges are individually carved per instrument. You just rent them. You just rent your violin. Professional violinists, a lot of them just rent their violins. You get your Stradivarius or whatever, and you're like, you don't buy it, you just rent it, which is kind of a weird concept. Essentially, violin is a service. And I hate subscriptions, but I'm like, let's rent this before spending $1,000 on something I use for 2 months, and then it sits in my closet getting dust, causing me to feel guilty. So I went and I second place I called Larson's Violins in the U District of Seattle. The guy who runs it, nice guy, called him up, and I'm like, I would like to rent a violin. First off, the first place I called there was like, we don't rent full-size violins. Second guy, super nice. I thought, I want to rent a violin. I'll come back. He's like, great, I have them. I'll come back later today. Drove over, picked them up. Half the price of everywhere else. Everywhere else, like renting a violin is like $50 to $60. This guy is like $25 a month to rent a violin. I'm like, shit, that's so good. That's such a good price. So I rented a violin, brought it home, started these fiddle lessons. And it's interesting to be like, it's kind of like if you've learned one programming language. If you learn one programming language, it's super hard to learn your first programming language. But then you learn your second programming language, you're kind of like, that's pretty fun. I see what's happening over here. I recognize these patterns. I recognize these things. I know what a G is. I can't hear it. I can't hear the pitch, but I know what it is. So translating a lot of the pianos, not the skills of the physical playing of the instrument, but the skills of the music theory side of it has been pretty useful. So it's been a lot of fun to learn fiddle and violin. And one thing I did in Leavenworth, so I live in a condo. In a condo, I'm a bit wary of playing a full volume violin in a condo because violins are loud as shit. Like if I'm playing at like full volume, I cannot hear people talk. In class, if we're all trying to like play together and the instructor's trying to say something over us playing, and we're like, you just can't hear him. You can't hear the guy. So I'm a bit wary of playing, especially right now when I am bad. I am so bad at playing violin. It is just awful. Just awful. In a like almost comedically bad sort of way. Not in a like, oh, I feel bad about myself. Like I'm not living up to anyone's expectations. I'm just playing this for myself. So one thing I did in Leavenworth in this cabin on the mountain by myself is I just played full volume a couple times a day for practice to get and learn violin. Now I'm at home. I have a what's called a practice mute. So on top of the bridge here, it's like a chunk of metal that sits right on top of the bridge. So you have like your strings coming through, and it's like it's a chunk of rubber coated metal like this that clips onto the bridge and just mutes all the string vibrations. So it drops it from like 95 decibels to like 60 decibels. So you can practice inside your condo without any problem. It doesn't sound very good. That could be my playing. I like to blame the mute, but it's probably me. But it lets me practice. And so it's been fun. Doing about half an hour a day practice. And I'm getting there. I was kind of thinking of like, looking back on it, it was a lot of work and a lot of effort. But I was kind of enjoying doing my daily piano practice hand cam streams. And I've been trying to think of like, is there a way to do that with violin as well? And I don't know, because I can't do a violin hand cam because the violin is like under my chin, right? I mean, maybe if I'm very careful, like where I'm sitting, so my head doesn't get in the frame. If I wear a hat, I need to wear a hat while I do it. But I kind of enjoyed that. It sounded terrible, but it got like people stopped by who knew how to play instruments and were like, "Oh, I see you're learning piano." Like, "Oh, this is my favorite piece." So maybe when I get a little bit better, I'm not just playing like scales. I might see about how I could potentially set that one up. I think once I get the muscle memory in, so I'm holding it consistently in the same place, so I can fix a camera and be like, this is my visibility area, this is my visibility zone for the stream. I might think about it. It was fun to do. And that gets me into the next topic. Is like oh man, have you seen the Kigurumis? Yes. Have you seen the Kigurumi masks that some people stream in? Where they're just like the full anime head mask that you can wear to be like, look like an anime character, and you wear often paired with like the flesh colored full bodysuits. Here, let me find them. I did think briefly about that. I'm like, how goofy would, like, not goofy, but like, just get a Sandish one made up and just wear that. I thought about it briefly. I'm not going to go down that route, but it was here's a, oh, I can't copy paste in OBS. It's fine. I thought about that briefly, but I might do a brimmed hat. That's like that. It would make hold the violin hard. I wouldn't be able to see the violin. I just had this brief comedic vision of what this would look like. I know one of the more famous, successful Hololive streamers, Cecilia Immergreen. I think she plays violin. Maybe we should see how she does it, if she streams violin at all. But she plays it in like I think in a like, I was in a symphony sort of level, not like I'm learning like G G G G A B B B B, etc. But it's fun. I think part of it is like doing the daily piano practice. It was hard to balance with a job, because right now I can do like half an hour practice between meetings with a little setup, but doing like a stream of it requires a bit more setup. And one of the things, the two parts about learning this violin, I guess 3 parts. One, the class is interesting because it was started with 3 students and 1 dropped out, so there's 2 of us and the instructor, which is kind of interesting. So a lot of like direct hands-on time, but we're not playing with sheet music. So he's teaching us all by ear, I'm just like listening to him play and be like, I'm playing these notes. This is what it sounds like. And then we play those notes. He'd say like, these finger positions on the violin. And so that's been interesting because I was playing piano by sight reading. And so now I have nothing to sight read. And so I just have to memorize what it's supposed to sound like. And I think that's going to be very beneficial in my long run. The other thing is learning any physical skill. There's a lot of like learning the mechanisms and the mechanics of it to the point where you don't think about it anymore. Like I'm not sure it's other people. When I first started learning to drive, it was so much. I was like very focused, like how do I put my foot for the pedal? Like how do I hold this wheel? How am I looking around, like paying attention, like, and then I have to pay attention to my speed on top of all that and like everything around me. It was a lot. It was so much. But now when I drive, I'm just like, it's all automated. Like gas, accelerating and braking is automated. Steering is really automated. I don't think about these things anymore. When I was learning fencing, it was all about like precise hand-finger control of the foils. And that was a lot of like thinking about it, like the foot movements back and forth. But at a certain point, you stop thinking about like how to do the steps and you just think to yourself, I want to move forward. Learning to draw, which again, let's not, hypothetically, learning like how to hold your arm and being like, oh, if I'm going to draw a straight line, you draw a straight line like this and you draw a curve like this. Like you're moving your whole arm and your shoulder versus like trying to draw a straight line from like your wrist or just like your wrist and your arm sort of thing. The violin has its own like, nope, bad Procreate. Its own like for the bowing action. So a lot of it's like learning the bowing action with your one hand, your one arm, and getting that and learning what that feels like. So that becomes automated. And then you're going to hit a point in theory where you place your fingers becomes kind of automated. So then you're thinking more like, I hope eventually about what notes to play and less and like the tempo and less about like trying to think of all these different components your body's moving at once. Another thing I learned, which I think people might be like, duh. This is my first stringed instrument. And one thing I knew when you play when you play violin, when you play guitar, you have the neck with your strings on it, right? Your little strings on it. And as you're playing, you put your finger, like you hold down with your fingers. Like I'm going to hold down the E string here and then pluck the guitar or bow the violin, right? To make that like F, to make that A note, right? And so I didn't think anything of it. I'm like, oh, that's how you play violin, that's how you play guitar, all these things. Then I started taking lessons and something connected where on the neck of a violin, there's no markings. On a guitar, guitars have the frets, which I've learned are those little metal bars. And so those, like the metal bars, I think you just hold the string against those metal bars to get the note. Violin, you have to kind of learn where to put your fingers to make the right note. And you have to learn how that's supposed to sound. And so I'm like, oh, I can't identify pitches very well. So that's another thing to learn. There's a lot of like these little components to learn, which is kind of, if I was trying to learn this for like a high school class where I had a performance or like pressures from a parent or something, I would be so stressed out. I'd be so stressed out about this. But I'm like, I'm learning this for me. I'm paying professionals to teach me how to do this. It's okay if I'm bad or slow or it takes time. It's like, I'm here to have fun and go on this journey. That's what I'm here for. And so it's been fun. I've been out for 3 weeks now. My goal is I would like to do 3 months. And then after 3 months, assess how I'm feeling about the whole endeavor. This fiddle class is 8 weeks long. And then after that, I'll probably seek out a private teacher. I don't have a goal. I don't. There's no like. Some people are like, oh, I really want to play the like. One of the people I'm with, she does like bass. She did some other stringed instruments, but she wants to do like fiddle in for some other type of music. And I'm just like, I don't know what I want. I'm here just to learn and go on this journey and see where it takes me. It's one of those things where it's like you hear about like, oh, if you're 75, learning new things keeps your brain active. And I'm like, I like learning things. I like keeping my brain active. And that's why I like VTubing. A lot of things to learn, a lot of bits and bobs to get better at and improve over time. But the violin, we'll see how it goes. I'm enjoying it so far. And I'll think about that. I'm just hand gestures, how to stream it. I did run into last night as I go to bed, I did run into that peril of seeing a new hobby and being like, oh, that sounds so cool. Do I want to take up that brand new hobby? And I'm just like, Sanish, you cannot take up low poly character modeling and animation. I'm like, but I could make a 3D low poly model of myself to stream with in 3D. And I'm like, no, I can't do that. But then another part of my brain is like, you took 3 years of 3D modeling in high school. You actually really like 3D modeling. And I'm like, no. I'm not learning Blender to make low poly 3D models of animated characters. I don't have the time to do that. But I'm like, but this content creator just posted a $50 course about how to do the whole thing from scratch to rigging animations. I'm like, no. And it's kind of how I feel like when I hear my friends who are into like knitting get into like needlepoint, and it's like that Fiverr art spider web of hobbies. It's like that sort of thing. Right? Like so when I tried learning Blender, it was 2006. So it was in a much different state in 2006 than it is in 2020. It was 20 years ago. I was gonna go cry in a corner. Because I learned 3D Studio Max in high school, graduated, could not afford a license for 3D Studio Max. It was like $3,000 at the time. And so I tried to learn Blender, but Blender was in the state that a lot of open source software was in at that time, in that it was shit. It's way better now. I've done a tiny bit because I had to do some like model asset imports for Unity. So it's definitely way better, but it's fundamentally, it's like the model for how it works is so different than 3D Studio Max and how I like inherently think about operating in 3D spaces that switching over would be real tough. The other one I did a lot of that I really liked, it's called, I think it was like Wings 3D is what it was called. It was a subdivision based modeling. So you always start with a cube and you just like refine and subdivide down your mesh and like, you know, move your vertices around and stuff. But I really love 3D modeling. I think it's so cool. I was never really good at it, but I love learning it. So that's why I saw this like pop up for making like a low poly anime character, and I'm just like, I'm like, Sandish, you should just spend $200 and commission someone on VGen. It's so hard. Sub modeling is so hard, but it's so satisfying when it works. I think the problem is like, for me, is like when I was learning, thank you, Staris, USB for following. When I was learning, the problem was I was learning 3D Studio Max and we were taught how to do basic modeling in it, right? But we never got taught how to model and build meshes for animation. And so whenever we got to that step of that class, like I was trying to model like a face, which God help me try to model a face. And I just had like, the mesh was so bad that we had to like deform it in any way. And it was awful. It was so bad. I know, it's like, oh man, it's so like, I know, I like it a lot. I say that whenever I work in Godot or Unity, I always did 2D. I always did 2D work because 3D is hard, man. I mean, 2D is also hard. I'll take it back. I did not do 3 years of 3D Studio Max. I did 1 year of 2D animation. So I learned 2D animation first and 2D art programs. That's what I learned first. And then from there went to 3D. Rest in peace, Macromedia Flash. You were a real one. But I saw the character and I'm just like, this was like 10 p.m., 10:30 last night. And then I woke up again at like 4 a.m. thinking about this. And I'm just like, if you didn't have a job, maybe, even then I'm like, my hobbies are booked out. I can't cram more in here. I've already shrunk my day job to like 3 to 4 hours a day. I can't like compact that anymore. But learning violin's fun. It's very different part of the brain, very different thing. But man, I've been working in Godot, but I'm doing 2D, so I'm like, it's one of those things like the grass is always greener if you're doing 2D versus 3D. Like you're like, oh, 3D, you get all this stuff for free, but then you start doing building the meshes and modeling 3D, and you're like, yeah, this is great, it's going great. And you have to animate, and you're like, oh, animate, and you're like, oh, UV texture mapping. You're like, oh, okay, this is something a lot harder. Specular what now? Lights where? It's cool though. I've always liked 3D. Well, me here as a 2D Fox boy being like, oh, I always like 3D and 2D animation and stuff. Like, well, no, duh. Look at me. So it's let's put this fiddle aside. Yeah, I'll leave my fiddle drawings up there. On the topic of quitting my job, I'm so close to quitting my job. I try not to talk about my job on here very much because it's depressing. It's not bad, it's just depressing. Over the last year this time, I got my annual leading up to last year's annual performance review, I thought I did a really good job. I put an extra effort. I tried harder, and I feel like making good progress. I did good work on these projects. I moved things forward, helped with the culture change in the whole org, and my review came back as just okay. And what that taught me was trying doesn't matter in my current job. So for the last year, I have minimized how much I worked. So I'm down to about 25 hours a week working my current job. And so I had my performance review 2 weeks ago. And I went into it, I'm like, this is not going to go well. They're going to be like, Sandish, you have shit the bed. You have not done your job, and this is a problem. I got absolute glowing review. The feedback I got was super positive. I got met expectations, which is middle of the ground, but I got like 105% of my annual bonus target. And it just reinforced that me caring less, trying less, and being a bit mean. I'm a bit mean at work. Being a bit mean at work only gives me more rewards. So that bonus, once it comes out, I'm kind of like, I kind of just want to quit. I just kind of want to quit, take a year off, do all these hobbies. That's been my mindset for the last bit of time. I was waiting for this bonus to clear, if I'm being honest. And it's clearing next Friday. I'm not going to quit next Friday. Or am I? But I got an email from a recruiter, and I get not a lot. Once every few weeks, a recruiter reaches out to me from a different company. And I ignore most of them because most of them are awful. There was like a year period there, 2 year period, where every recruiter in video games was reaching out about this new crypto NFT game. And I was like, please don't, please stop. I in no way ever want to work on a game like that. But I got reached out from a recruiter yesterday from a company in the industry who, I'll say Netflix. So Netflix reached out. I don't think I'll get this job, but they reached out with the position, and I'm like looking at this position. I'm like, I might actually be like a really good fit for this role. Like this role, like I'm reading through the job description and everything about their culture. I'm like, oh man, this is like, it's actually it's like a pretty decent fit. And I'm like, okay, maybe they're not fully remote. I'm like, oh, we're fully remote. I'm like, maybe if they like travel, if I have to go to the office, it'd be somewhere like, I have to travel in somewhere shitty and it's like, they have a Seattle office. I'm like, oh no, this is sounding better. And so I got an interview on Monday set up with Netflix to talk about this. And the part that like, I was ready to retire. I was ready to quit my job, leave this industry and just retire, make little silly indie games on the side and do streaming and like try that for a bit. But the problem, chat, is they pay so much money. By the way, whatever state law, I think it's Washington, maybe it's California, maybe it's Washington, that forces employers to list the salary ranges on job applications. Bless your heart. You're doing the Lord's work. You have brought some sanity to the world. The listed salary range for this position is between 50% more than my current salary to 3 times my current salary. And I'm like, I don't want to work. But you know what I do like? I do like money. And so it's like, I had this before. When I left Microsoft to go work at Facebook, I did not like Facebook. I didn't care for Facebook. I didn't use any of their products, but they offered me 50% more dollary dues. And I'm like, I'll take 50% more dollary dues to go work somewhere. I will, like, if I'm not enjoying my job, let me at least sell out and not enjoy my job, right? And so I'm just like, oh man. It's not my biggest salary increase. My biggest salary increase was I had a 4x increase when I left grad school because they paid us $18,500 a year. So that wasn't too hard to jump up from. But I'm like, if Netflix offers me like a big bucket of money, I have to say yes, right? You have to say yes. And like the interview is all about like the things I'm very, very good at. Like 2 technical interviews on SQL. And I'm like, oh no, that's my skill set. We'll see how it goes. I, at the very least, will talk to some interesting people, learn some things, daydream about a new job, but I probably won't get it. And that's fine. I actually don't want to work very hard. And Netflix, I think I would actually have to work hard, at least for a couple months. Not about that working hard, but getting paid a lot of money. Do you like money? I wouldn't spend it. That's the problem. Like if I got paid more money, I would try my best to not actually spend or increase lifestyle creep. I would just take that money, save it as cash in my Widow bank account, and use that to then take a year off in the future. Or I can just quit now. But I'm worried about the whole AI thing, bubble bursting, economy crashing, blah, 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 blah. But I'm a millennial. I've always been worried about the economy always crashing all the time. It only happened like 8 times. Sob. That's coming up. So next chatting stream, if I don't remember, remind me to ask how that went. Also, if I do get the job, I never mentioned it here. I never mentioned who my employer was if I get that job. Sick. What else? What else? What happened around? Oh, Sandy boy. Why do this music? I've been. 1 second. Let's reload this. There we go. I've been struggling to find a good game to stream. I feel like my chatting streams, I feel pretty good about these. I feel pretty good about these chatting streams. I'm not sure I could chat multiple times a week. In fact, I'm confident I wouldn't like that. But then again, when I was doing the daily piano streams, I was kind of enjoying the like little daily chatting aspect of it. But I've been struggling to find like a good game to stream recently. Because a lot of them I've been playing, I just haven't actually enjoyed part of streaming the game as much as I thought I would enjoy the part of streaming the game. So I'm kind of like iterating and thinking about and working through to see like, what do I actually want to stream that I enjoy? That actually, that's it. I don't care about, no offense. I would love it if people watched and engaged and enjoyed my gaming streams, but I want to enjoy my gaming streams. And that's the part where I'm kind of just like talking to myself as I'm playing games. That's the part I enjoy, to my imaginary little sibling on the couch next to me. So I'm working through, I'm trying different games out. I'm trying Final Fantasy 14 right now, and I'm not sure how much I enjoy streaming Final Fantasy 14. It's a lot of dialogue. And I don't know if that's what I want to do. I'll iterate. I'm going to iterate. I'll try things out. And just see what hits. We'll see what lands. See what feels good about it. And then go from there. So that's just something I'm thinking about. Just going to try a couple streams here and there. See how it feels. Move on. And then one day I'll be like, I'll crack the code and be like, this is the content that when I stream this content, people love it, I love it, and it's the one. And then I become a perma streamer for Valorant. That will never happen, but like something like that. Oh, like I'll find that right rhythm. I think there was a while there where, honestly, here's my hot take. I stream in the evenings because I work in air quotes, I work a job. I honestly I feel like I've had more success on vacations when I was streaming in like the morning, like 10 a.m. streams. I feel like 10 a.m. Pacific time streams, I always did much better. And I always had more success with European audiences and Asian audiences than American. And 10 a.m. got me like late night Asia and like evening Europe. And I think that I did a lot. What is this song? I did a lot better with those, especially with like factory building games. I think that is honestly the niche I need to lean into. The problem is I have work meetings at that time of day. Sob. That's why the piano streams works. I did the piano streams early afternoon. I think 7 o'clock is just like not a good time slot for me. It just fits in with everything else. So as always with VTubing, I will iterate, keep trying new things, and doing that thing that the reason I'm doing this whole thing is an excuse to commission new artwork. Which I got one new piece in recently. Let me pull that up here. Oh no, I got 2 new pieces in. First off, I got this skeb, which I like a lot. I got this skeb in. I started 2 more commissions about 2 days ago. I like this one a lot. I love the facial expression in this commission. I like the hair. I like the color choice, like the muted color palette. I think the mouth and the eyes, I think came out like really nice in this one. That's the one. The other, which I commissioned a screen transition for OBS. So before I just had like fade to black, but now I have this it's not a stinger. I think it's called transition. I'm gonna transition to another screen and come back and show it. So I got this. And I enjoy that transition a lot. That's from another streamer and artist called Frumpy Fox. It's one of those things where sometimes you see like an artist like this piece where like the commission prices are just ridiculously low, and you're just like, on one hand you're just like, artists, charge more, but on the other hand you're like, that's your price, I'll pay it. So like this piece was like this artist was like 1,000 yen for the skeb. 1,000 yen. That's like $7. I'm just like, you should charge way more. That singer transition was like $25 for like 24 frames or something. I'm just like, this is crazy cheap. This is crazy cheap. But I like the transition a lot. It's one of those ones. There's a couple there's a lot of artists I follow on Blue Sky who I really like the art style of, and the problem is like they open commissions, or they have like a window to open commissions, and they fall into two categories that I struggle with. One is they charge the terrible pain when you see an artist you would love to commission, and then you look at their prices and you're like, those prices are justified for the quality of work, but that price is too high for me. Where it's like $500 for a headshot, and you're just like, oh man, the quality is $500 worth of quality. That's out of my budget. Maybe in the future I can afford that. That's one category. The other one that I'm probably the guiltiest of it all, is there's a lot of really cool VTuber pinup artists, and they do a lot of pinup style pieces, and I love their style. Their style is so cool, but I'm like, I don't want like a semi-lewd pinup commission, but like that's what all their commission slots are for. You're just like, and they're too expensive. They're not too expensive. But it's that I get hit by both of those, or the commissions open and they're open for only like an hour before they fill up, and I like, all I know is like, I like this artist, I don't know like what pose I want or what I actually want to commission, and so I just really need to like, well, I don't need to. At some point I probably should be like, here are some standard poses and descriptions of what I'd want commissioned, and so I can be ready to jump on those. But a lot of them also like out of my budget. I budget like $100 a month for art commissions, and so I try to stick to that in a like, stick under it, but also force myself to actually commission artists, because it's fun to commission an artist, and then like you have like a list, you kind of forget about it, and then like 3 months later, so you get an email saying your Skeb commission is done, or your VJing commission done. You're like, oh, my art's here, everybody gather around. It's fun, and I think that's why I I mean, I have some brush control. Probably why I'm not drawing is I realize like it takes a lot of work and a lot of practice to get good at drawing, and I could just pay artists. I could just pay artists to draw instead. And part of me is like, okay, Sanish, you get paid not more than I should. I get paid a significant amount of money, and so I should take that money and I should funnel it into artists, and I should funnel it into commissions, because that is a better way to go, instead of trying to spend 1,000 of my own hours learning how to draw. Mostly because I don't actually like, I don't know if I enjoy the process of learning to draw in the same way I'm enjoying the process of learning violin, or I would enjoy the process of learning low poly 3D modeling or learning Godot. I think drawing something I have in my head as like, this is something I really wish I was good at it, but I don't strictly enjoy it. That's what it comes to. And I have to like accept that I can't be good at all things. I'm actually good at very few things. I'm just very confident about them. The unfounded confidence of a middle-aged white guy. That's my motto. Carried me this far. Those art commissions. That's about it. That's about it for this stream. That's all my topics, my little list here. My Orin High School Host Club notepad, which I use for my stream notes, that came with the manga box set. One of the first manga box sets. Oh, I bought some. One thing I did do in Leavenworth is I found it's called Krampus Cave. It's like this underground store that's a board game, tabletop RPG, and manga store. And that's the one place I did go shopping. Oh, that's what I learned. I had this plan of, right now. I had this plan for the day. It looked like this. It was like Saturday. It was like get a breakfast bagel, Shopping. Riverwalk. Lunch. Oh god, hang out. Coffee. Pick up dinner. Head home. And so I had this, like, effectively it was like a 10 a.m. to, I don't know, 3 p.m. let's say, plan for the day. But like this step here was supposed to be like 1 to 2 hours long. I learned I don't like shopping. I think that is what I've learned, and it's in-person shopping is anathema to me. I don't care for it. I will go, I'm happy to hang out with friends as they go shopping. I do not personally enjoy shopping myself. So this was 10 minutes. This was actually 5 minutes. I walked along the 2 blocks of Leavenworth and I'm like, I'm done. And so I found a manga store and I bought some manga to do something. And then this, I thought was gonna be an hour. It was also like 15 minutes. So it was like 11:30. It was like 11:30. And I'm like, never mind. I was gonna head back. I was gonna head back to my cabin and read my book on the porch. But it's one of those things I always like, whenever I'm shopping or like check out stores or check out this like area, I always give myself like 1 to 2 hours. And I always find it's more like 10 to 15 minutes at best. At best. And this always happens. And I need to accept and learn that it's like, this is not how I spend time when traveling or during my day-to-day. I'm getting slightly better at like record shops for vinyls, because part of that is the process of fiddling through looking at everything in the store to see what hidden gem might be there. So that I'm starting to understand. But otherwise, like, even like bookstores, I was never a big like hang out and browse bookstore sort of guy. So, you know what? The only place I do it, anime figurine stores. Figurine stores, I could browse for a long time. That's the Akihabara checking out like Animate or Mandrake or Radio City. There's another really big one. Or going to Nakano Broadway. I could do anime figurine shopping and anime merch shopping. I could do that for a long amount of time. But Leavenworth? Most American cities? Clothing stores? Malls? No, thank you. That's not me. Not my vibe, not my scene. I will happily, more than happy to join friends as they do it. But I'm not going to seek that out myself. Which actually is kind of a funny, it's kind of almost I've noticed this about myself over the last couple of years as I've gone down the road of having like 1 to 2 adult friends to like 10 to 20 adult friends, is what I'm happy to do with friends versus by myself has changed drastically. Like, pretty much if any of my friends invited me to do anything, I would happily do that thing with them. Almost anything. There's something like, I'd say almost the one thing, I will not go camping. Camping is right out. I will never go camping, no matter. I'll tell you that. Okay. I thought of one scenario. One scenario camping. If like 3+ attractive women invite me to go camping, I will say yes. That is my peer pressure limit. But otherwise, I will not go camping. So, shopping with friends, hanging out, great. My bot's not catching this. Oh, okay, my bot is catching the spammers. Good job, bot. You catch those spammers. Yeah. Crush this. Get rid of those. Crush those spammers. Spammers gotten better. One second, let me just get this. Yep. There we go. Get rid of those messages. So shopping with friends, absolutely do it. Golf, like I have a set of golf clubs. Do I ever go golfing by myself? No. Have my friends invited me in the past to go golfing and I'm happy to go with them? Absolutely. So there's pretty much, I will do most things if a friend invites me to go do it. One, I'm obsessed with the peer pressure. And two, doing things with friends is fun. And that's something I've learned over the last like 2 years, such as going through a super dark tunnel for 5 miles. Good times. Highly recommend. $10,000. How long? How long of a camping trip? Camping or backpacking? $10,000 though. 2 weeks? No. I would not go camping for 2 weeks, $10,000. I'm sorry. Right out. I'd do a weekend. I'd camp for a weekend, 2 days. I'd do 2 days camping for $10,000. Ooh, in an RV, 2 weeks? It's a long time. It's a lot of weeks. It's a lot of weeks. No, I don't think I would do it. I've been in an RV. I had a girlfriend in college whose family was big on art. Who was big on RVs, and they had a RV family trip to the Sacramento Delta every year in Los Gatos? No. Shit, what was it called? Manteca? Maybe it was Manteca. I'm sorry, I need to look this up. Rio Vista. Was it Rio Vista? It was Suisun City. Yeah. It was like... it was off of Suisun City. Or was it Rio Vista? Maybe it was like... oh, it was Terminus. It was like Rio Vista Terminus area. Ugh. But man, no camping. So that was my experience with RVs. Hard pass, not for me. I will stay in a national lodge like the Aulani in Yosemite. Yes. Give me a nice hotel. Give me a private bathroom with running water. Give me a comfy bed to sleep in. Don't make me connect up sewer lines or water lines or worry about like sharing space with people. Give me internet access and Wi-Fi. Absolutely. I've done RVs. I've done car camping. I've done housekeeping type camping where you have like a little like lean-to sort of structure. I've done backpacking in the rain on the Oregon coast where you use iodine in your water, like little iodine pills to your creek water. I've tried all of them and I have given them enough tries where I can say hard pass. Hard pass. My friends do have an annual camping trip where they do go camping and it's like 20 people and they rent out a whole campsite and they have a lot of fun and they talk about how much fun they have and it's a great time and they've tried to get me to go and I'm just like, I'm a city fox. I ain't going camping. I'll go to a cabin. Cabin, 10 out of 10. We'll go to a cabin. I will go someplace where I can, from that cabin, walk to your campsite that has like bonfire. Absolutely. Will I sleep in a tent? No. Oh, for the chat, I use StreamerBot. I think just streamer.bot. which might also be the website, the streamer bot. It is self-hosted, so it runs locally on your computer. It doesn't use any third-party websites. It doesn't require any subscriptions or accounts to set up. Maybe it's not open source, but it's wholly hosted locally, which I'm a huge fan. I hate subscriptions. I like running my software locally and owning it. Software as a service can eat my whole butt. No, thank you. Much like camping. So, camping's a no. But anything else? Friends ask. That's rough, buddy. First, though, next one might not. Next one might not turn to the moon. So, shopping or traveling, friends, great. On my own, not going to do it. And it's probably a lot of things like that. Golf is definitely one. Disc golf. Shopping. I do a pottery class if friends asked. Probably do a lot of things I wouldn't pursue on my own. Oh, walking's great. That's something I do on my own. I love a good walk. A good walk is solid. And that's what I like about traveling. It's like walking around. I have an upcoming trip to Japan. 2-week trip to Japan with one of my friends, and our plan is mostly just kind of like walk around and vibe. And that's kind of the plan for the whole trip. Because we've been to Japan a couple times. Like, we're going to go shop some figurines. She's going to shop yarn. We're going to walk around Tokyo and Kyoto and Osaka, buy some food, walk around some more, get some coffee, get some fancy desserts, and that's the trip. That's the trip. Just walk around. Great experience in cities. Japanese snow fairy. Uh-oh. Come on, DuckDuckGo. I've not gotten into bird watching. Like, I do love seeing animals, like, while walking around. I think it's great. But, like, bird watching is another level. It's another level. Like, that sort of, like, I don't have the patience. I don't have the patience for it. If I saw a Japanese snow fairy, great. I've seen a quetzal, probably the rarest bird I've seen. Quetzal. How do you spell quetzal? And that was one where there's we were in a rainforest in Costa Rica. Half the people were bird watchers, and they were getting very intently. They were very intent with their binoculars, with the guide trying to point out where the quetzal was on the branch. And it was literally like the quetzal is on the green tree, on the green branch in the Monteverde, which, you know, Spanish means green mountain. And they're trying to find it, and we're just like, we were so bored, we just left. We just left and we started walking. And then, like, on the railing of the trail was a quetzal just sitting there hanging out. So that's my experience with bird watching, and I learned quickly by then. It's like, you just go for walks, you know, run to the cool looking birds. But it's I think I wouldn't mind going on like a, I think running to like, we saw a bunch of, like, ran to a bunch of orcas. Like, you know, whale watching, see nothing, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna take a ferry, and like you're on the ferry, and you're like, oh, there's some whales off this ferry. Oh, if you're disparaging AI, don't worry. I hate it so much. I hate it on a lot of levels. Personal, professional, generically, ethically, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, don't need to go into that. Where's my little talkie list? My little talkie list here. That's about it. The only other thing is I went to Costco for the first time in a couple months, and I loaded up with a trunk full of Costco items. This is just a pain I went through recently. And I got home and I forgot my elevator was down, so I had to carry up a Costco trunk full of items up 5 flights of stairs. And I'm just like, I've made a huge mistake. Who in their right mind decided they needed 24 cases of Sapporo beers? And it's so heavy. And I'm like, it's me. I enjoyed it. I know, I'm not a fan of any AI. But I think that's mostly what I have for this evening. It's funny, I said when I started, I'm like, oh, I probably like an hour stream tops. 45 minutes in and out. This playlist just changed. Ha! I did jump playlists. This one. There we go. And as always, whenever I say, oh, Yurichi and Bleach, I have a confession. I have a deep, dark confession. I've never seen Bleach. I've never seen Bleach. I've never seen Naruto. I haven't seen One Piece. I've never watched. Those are the big three, right? Like that's like that generation of big three was Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. I missed all of those. You know why I missed them? Because I am old. My Peakstone Arrow's Dragon Ball. Not Z. Sorry, I'm just gonna shrivel up and die as I turn to dust over here. I watched the original Pokemon as it aired. Hey, one day I'll get a 45-minute stream. The problem is I pre-gamed with one beer and then I had this IPA which is 6.2%. Not wine though. Wine is honestly wine's where I get into trouble the most. Oh, Shiego. It's obviously Shiego. I never watched Kim Possible, but it's Shiego. I'm pretty confident. Say hashtag stand with Amelie. I am an Amelie fan. She was one of the reasons I got into streaming at first. I saw her live at SoccerCon, and I have one of the big Monarch enamel pins on my little bag. She's also like roughly my age, which is always I always appreciate in a streamer. Ancient. Maybe she's slightly younger than me. I can look it up. Oh no, she's younger than me. I was wrong. Ah. As we in the base say, that's rough, buddy. Oh no. She's 4. Wait, how old am I? She's 5 years younger than me. Nothing more terrifying than having in your head, like, I'm the same age as this person, and then you actually check, and you find out that is vastly not true. You find out it's vastly not true, and it causes, you hit a certain age where that, like, it's the other way, where everyone's always older than you think. Don't worry, you'll reach a point where it's the opposite. I am decrepit and old. It is very true. I've leaned into it. The other one is like, I have a friend who's older than me, and I added a younger friend to our 2 younger friends to our D&D group, and he's still in denial about how young they are. And he's like, "Don't tell me your age." He can't take it. The one who's yeah, so my friend she's in her late 20s. I was talking to her, and she just said, "What killed me, and it still lives rent free in my head." She's like, "Wow, you've lived a lot," and I'm just like, I got the TB. I'm just gonna die over here. I'm actually not sure. Amelie's younger than me. I think I'm probably similar age to Matara-Khan. From what I've seen. Luckily, oh man. My bones are fortunately still fine. If you're in your early 20s, I'm just gonna give the piece of advice now. Eat enough fiber. No one regrets eating enough fiber. Eat enough fiber. It's one thing that you don't build that habit up, and all of a sudden you hit 37, 36, and you realize You suddenly have to change your diet completely to get enough fiber. Awful, awful. I'd say I wouldn't recommend aging, but the alternative is worse. But man, the things we do, the things we learn. But yeah, my friends who are my age, oh man, they have so many bone problems. Like, my God, like they probably have one complete skeleton between the three of them. It's like one has like some sort of like spongy bone disease, like some spongy bone arthritis problem. The other one has like a fused disc or a slip disc. Another one fell and broke his back on a zip line. Ooh, I don't know who one of those is. I've already been married and divorced, so marriage is out. Probably don't want to. My problem with this prompt, and I've always had this problem with this prompt, is I'm ace, so that takes one of those out. I'm divorced, and I'm never going to marry again. That takes another one out. And killing somebody, probably against. I'm probably against that option. I don't like. I set spiders free, so it's probably against myself on that one. So that's my problem with that prompt. Is like, the answer is I'd rather not do any of those things. Cut them all out. Married once, good enough. Good enough. You're divorced once, I'm done. You know what? We're done with that one. If anything, no, I appreciate the prompt. The prompt's fine. I think when it's with inanimate objects, like someone is like, oh, what's one I saw? It was like pastries, buns, or no, what was it? It was like rice, pasta, or buns, like some food-based ones. Food-based ones, fine. When it's actual people, I'm like, man, that one I never got. Which, let me tell you, learn that you're ace in your mid-30s, and when you do, and you look back on your life, and you're just like, oh shit, this explains a lot. Wish I learned that one, let's say when I was 15 instead of 35. I'll probably recognize her. I don't recognize her. It's funny, whenever you Google any anime character, you're like, you get like 2 frames of the actual artwork, and then you get like 16 pages of like horny fan art. And I will say, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Oh, when I wear her outfit, I do like the orange. I mean, like here, if we take, let me save this image here. We take this image. We take essentially the halter top image here. There we go. There we go. At this level, yeah, there we go. All right, fine. I will say the halter top level, fairly close. Fairly close. Oh, she got a cool jacket and like a cool hairstyle. This is my jacket. This is what my jacket looks like. It's orange. Similar color scheme. She is tanner than myself. I am as pale as let's go with a fresh sheet of printer paper. Take my jacket off. There. Every now and then I see cool character designs and I'm like, oh, do I want to commission a new model? And then I'm like, oh, how much do you pay for this model? And I'm like, okay, fine. I have to wait. I need a year before I start willy-nilly commissioning new models. I guess. And let's get that Netflix job. What do her model? Yeah. I'd wear her outfit as my model. I'd cosplay that outfit. That outfit's easy. It's like some tight pants, a little orange jacket, halter top. Oh, I would 100% wear Arlecchino's outfit. Like Arlecchino, absolutely hands down. I churned out of Genshin Impact for almost a year because I failed on getting Arlecchino on her first banner. I'm just like, I'm done here. It was Natlan came out, I didn't get Arlecchino, and I'm just like, call me when we hit the next area. I'm just gonna skip this whole patch cycle, this whole thing. But Arlecchino, 100% I wear an Arlecchino outfit. If it wasn't so like terrifyingly complex in the way Hoyoverse outfits are, cosplay Arlecchino, easy. One, sides are super cool. Sides are super cool. Two, she got a cool jacket. Rare for Genshin Impact. She has pants. I think it's her and Jean are the only two with pants. But no, yeah, you know, her outfit, fantastic outfit. Fantastic character design. No, she's super cool. And she came out, when that character design came out, it was just like, I'll put it on the, no, yeah. Like 100%. Like 100% strong women in suits. Look, when I said like, there's like, if Arlecchino asked me to go camping, I'd probably say yes. Let's be honest with ourselves. Like, she has a suit, she has cool pants. She's got these, I'm not gonna say cool, but like, how do I describe them? Like these shoes. Like, I'm not sure what's going on there, but that, like, that's a sweet. And honestly, any fancy shoe where the sole of the shoe is like a different color, oh, fantastic. Designer shoe. What designer shoes are I about? Is it Louis Vuitton? Yeah, Louis Vuitton. The red sole of Louis Vuitton shoes. Oh, always so cool. But no, her character design, fantastic. I'm waiting in I'm one patch behind in Genshin and I need to catch up, but I keep putting it up. I wouldn't say are my thing, but I do appreciate a good designed outfit. If I had a thing, I think, oh man, that'd be a tough list to make. Sanish, I think Sanish likes odd women. A list. Oh man, I have a Revy figurine on my desk right now. I'll take Revy over Balalaika. I'm not good with Russian names. Balalaika. I'm not used to saying them. I have a Revy figure on my left here. One of the pop-up ones that reran recently. Black Lagoon, top anime, fantastic. Pretty much anything with Revy in it, great. I think like strong women in suits and midriffs get me every time. Shorts that are too short, also great. I know a lot of people who like scars or like eye patches or like masks and things. That's not one that like I've ever been drawn. I'm not against it. I think because the scars often are like indicators of strong women. I think that's what it is. Maki and JJK. I've seen JJK. There's a lot of animes where I don't remember the characters' names. Oh, I will say also evil women. I'm not a good person. I'm okay with that. Glasses. Also sucker for glasses. Right, there you go. Got my glasses on here. Who had scars? Okay. I'm not sure I remember what season was she in? I churned out of JJK about, what was it called? Elimination Game? Elimination Game. The Culling Game. I turned out the Culling Game arc because I started it and I'm like, what's happening? Who are these people? I don't care. This is too much, and I just dropped it. I'm sorry, JJK. I gave you a fair shake, and you shook out. Oh yeah, the brother complex. Like, that's one trope I'm just generally not a fan of. Is the brocon, ciscon whole thing. I'm just like, there's a couple of anime tropes where I'm just like, can we not? Now, one thing I do love in anime, hands down, I always love anime featuring adults. Give me a working salarywoman as a character. Fantastic. Love is hard for. Was it Love for Hard? Hard for Otaku? Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, Love is Hard for Otaku. Great. Fantastic. Give me people who have jobs. That's what I want my manga about. Employed people, not students. Is that so hard to ask? Apparently the answer is yes. Yes, that is hard to ask. Close that. No, I've not. I have my this is one of the things where you have too many hobbies and you don't have time to like really delve into something when you want to. Non has been on my backlog for anime for like 6 years, and I'm like, I want to watch it, and it's a cultural touchstone, but I'm like, I have my Crunchyroll list or High Dive, maybe she's High Dive, and it's like, there's so many things I want to watch. But then like a new season's come, but then you're like, oh, here's your new season of Ascendance of a Bookworm. And I'm like, oh, goddamn, I'm watching that now. And it's like, oh, I don't have time to watch this. That Record of a Lodos War. I know the outfits, everything I heard about Nana, like, I need to watch this or read it. Every now and then though, like when a season of anime isn't interesting, I pick something from the backlog and I go all in and watching it. I did that with Demon Slayer. I went through all of Demon Slayer. Well, I thought all of Demon Slayer, and it turned out there's still movies left, and I was kind of jilted about that. I did a binge of My Hero Academia, which I talked about in depth here. This season, I read the manga of Spy Family first, and the anime came out, and that was pretty good. But I'm kind of like, it kind of lost momentum for me. So this season, I'm watching That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, where I've read up to, but not including the very, very last light novel because it's not translated yet. So I'm kind of doing that, like watching an anime of a light novel I enjoyed, which is fun. So That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Go for it, Nakamura-kun. Loving Nakamura-kun, despite recent comments about adult animes. Give me my little gay yaoi. 10 out of 10. Witch Hat Atelier. Read the manga. Adaptation's been great. Welcome to Demon School, Arima-kun. Read the manga. The anime is now ahead of the officially translated manga, which is kind of a funny place to be, but here we are. Arima-kun, I love his character design. I love his character. It's great. Ascendance of a Bookworm, I've read all the light novels, so I'm just watching it as a kind of a comfort show. And then from last season, I'm still slowly working through Dojima Wants to Be a Common Writer, because it's kind of just, it's a bit wacky. And sometimes you gotta watch something that's a bit wacky. But then I have other things in my backlog, like Gintama, Lodos War, Journal with a Witch from last season, Isekai Office Worker, the other role's bean counters. Other role depends on the bean counter. See if I like that yaoi. Some of these are on hold. There's so many. I have my Crunchyroll open right now, so otherwise I'd forget this. I know the Gintama's one where it's like, it's the same category I put like My Hero Academia and Demon Slayer of like, there's a lot and I want to watch it. So I just need to like pick a slow season. The problem is I have so many this season I want to watch. A bunch of other random ones, some others deep in my backlog. Sound Euphonium, Sing a Bit of Harmony. I want to rewatch Rin, Daughter of Mnemosyne. March Comes Like a Lion I want to watch eventually. Non Viori. K-On! I think I've not seen. Haramia, which I think I have to rewatch. I'm on the fence about the new Spice and Wolf eventually one day. And there's a couple on High Dive, which I always forget about because they're on High Dive. There's some like Netflix ones or like Amazon Prime ones, but I don't have those services, so I'm never gonna watch them. Rest in pieces. So backlog, it grows, and I try to whittle it down. Come on. Anime. Oh, it does have a lady with a gun. So you're not wrong. By Type Moon co-founders? What? It is a spin-off of the Wii game. Yes. Host that anime night. Oh, I am watching Cowboy Bebop with friends who have not seen it before. I have a bunch of also manga I'm reading. Oh, it's not on Crunchyroll. Rest in pieces. Every now and then I like re-subscribe to High Dive for like a month and I binge watch things. I need to watch season 2 of Call of the Night. It's on my list. And then I think whenever the next Eminence and Shadow season comes out, which is on High Dive, or the next Scumbag Otome game comes out, I'll probably re-up High Dive. Because I do love isekais with a shitbag protagonist. Like, I know why. Probably because I'm a terrible person. No, I'm not a terrible person. I'm occasionally a mean person. Oh, you have a DVD copy. Oh, I also have a what's it called? A friend gifted me a DVD copy of his favorite anime. One. Fantasy with Gundam First Isekai. Come on, Google. Or DuckDuckGo. Oh, what's it? Visions of Escaflowne is one that my friend is one of his favorites, and he gifted me for my birthday, and I haven't watched it yet. It's been like 2 years. I haven't watched it yet. I feel bad every time I see it on my shelf, but I just also want to watch. Escaflowne's up there. I know, I've heard good things about it, and I have it on Blu-ray on my shelf. Maybe I'll host a watch party. And by watch party, I mean I'll admit, my last watch party for Cowboy Bebop was like 60 minutes of anime, 4 hours of chatting and people knitting on my couch. It was more of a fiber arts craft night than an anime watch party, but that's fine. That's fine. I enjoy casual hangouts with friends. Gotta, yeah. And that's actually the last part of my little talkie track here, which I meant to get to. As I said at the start of the year in January, that as I've been growing out my number of friends and getting closer to all my friends and doing more things with my friends, one of my friends' goals for the year of our Lord 2026 is to have and do more casual hangouts where myself and my friends are doing kind of casual parallel activities together. It's like not always chatting or not always like doing the same thing together, but like, oh, I'll be working on my laptop and they'll be knitting, or they'll be like playing on their iPad or phone, like rotting on their phone or something. We're just kind of like in the same space together, if not like talking or something. Kind of like, honestly, what it is, I'm trying to recreate all the aspects of being married and in a long-term relationship, but just with my friends instead. Because I'm like, I don't need to like be in this like committed traditional type relationship when I can just like do it with my friends. And so this weekend I'm working towards that, and I'm having one of my friends over on Saturday, tomorrow, just for a casual hangout, doing our own things together in the same room activity. So I'm working towards that. I'm working towards that lifelong goal of parallel play as I reject traditional relationships, and I'm just like, what if I just have friends? I just do everything with my friends instead. It's like not full queer platonic relationship status, but just friends. If any of them ever want to like have that sort of discussion, great, I'm happy to have it, but it's not what I feel I need to. I'm just like, it's like, oh man, one thing I liked about like being in a relationship was like traveling with my partner and having that kind of like travel partner. And I'm like, why not just do that with my friends? And lo, I'm doing that in Japan. And so this is one of those steps of like, why not just do this thing I liked about relationships with friends? And that's my slowly building towards that, as I ask myself, what do I like about this part of relationships? The one thing that's gonna be harder is gonna be harder to convince someone to do my convince a friend to do my laundry. I'm like, can we chore swap? Like, I'll do your dishes, you do my laundry. I have one friend who hates dishes, so I'm kind of like, maybe walk over to her place, do her dishes. She can come dust my bookshelves. Though I've solved that by just hiring house cleaners. That's why I solved that problem. Who came today and cleaned my things and did not comment on my anime figurines and did not comment on the maid dresses in my closet. She just politely cleaned around them and went on her way. I only had one from this first house cleaner I got from this house cleaning company. They only came once. I'm pretty sure they were non-binary. They came in, saw my Guts figurine on my bookshelf, like my Guts scale figurine, and they said, oh, like, I love Berserk, I love Griffith, I do Griffith cosplay. And I got suddenly very worried. I got very worried when someone said they love Griffith and have Griffith cosplay. I only had them as my cleaner once. I'm not sure if they got rotated off or the scheduling didn't work out, but I kind of wish they came back. My cosplaying non-binary house cleaner who cosplayed Griffith, and like based on how they look, they 100% like couldn't pull off a Griffith. They had like the facial structure that like just said like this person with like some contouring, Griffith, in like a very worrisome way. They didn't say which Griffith. The prisoner one with the helmet. But that's fine. That's my friend update for the evening as I progress towards the full life I want for myself. And the only thing that's really stopping this is this pesky job. Can someone just like give me like a big lump sum of money? Where's my super chat for like 500k? Like 500k super chat, that would tie me over just fine. Just fine. I need to set up super chats in the off chance someone accidentally misclicks. A Foxboy can dream. Or I need to I just need to meet like meeting a wealthy heiress, though. That's my other option. I'm ears to the ground on that one. We can all hope. That's where I'm gonna wrap things up for this Friday chatting stream. I am going to go maybe play some Slay the Spire. Might play some Slay the Spire or Final Fantasy. But thank you all for joining me on this chatting stream. I'll try to do these more often. I've kind of had like a lot of things come up, but I'm past like my big socializing chunk of the year, and I have like nothing scheduled for the next 3 months, which I need to work on. It's a separate problem for me to work on, but it means I'll have more chatting streams. I might try some different chatting stream times that aren't Friday evenings. I might try like some Saturday evenings or Sunday evenings going forward. But maybe not. Maybe I'll stick here. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for chatting with me today. Cryptic Triptych and Quachi One. And then also for Lul's Time for joining at the start and following. I appreciate the follows. I appreciate the chatting. And I hope everyone has a wonderful, fantastic, great weekend. And don't forget, make sure you get enough fiber. It's good for you. Good night and bye, everybody. Bye-bye.